My name is Melissa Fry. I'm an author, book editor, and indie author educator at indieauthorlearning.com. Today we're going to talk about mindset, how important it is to the author life. So before we do that, I'm going to give you a brief update. It's been kind of crazy. You can see I've got a different background because I have moved. I've moved across the country. So I'm getting refocused and set up, and part of that, we'll be doing more videos on my channel here. Things that will help you in your indie author journey. Welcome to my new and improved channel. So we'll kind of figure this out together. Today we're going to talk about mindset and how we're going to shift it as a writer to be the best and most successful version of ourselves so we can get our book written, actually sit down and want to write, and finish it and get it to be the best book that we can. So I like to think that there are 3 M's of mindset for the writer. This generally applies to really anyone, but as a writer, these are also important because they help us to get into the right mindset to be able to write and produce the best book we possibly can. So the first M is meditation. Meditation actually physically changes the brain. I was just learning about this earlier today. Meditation physically changes your brain if you do it repeatedly over time, and it's really a simple process. So you don't have to be scared or overwhelmed by it. It's really just as simple as sitting quietly. Usually close your eyes, you can cross your legs or lay down, sit down, whatever it is, somewhere comfortable where your body can relax. You can focus on something. I like to focus primarily on my breath, and you just observe your breath as it happens. You don't try to force it. You don't try to control your breath. Sometimes you'll take deep breaths and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. But you focus on your breath and you allow your mind to get clear. And anytime a thought comes up, you acknowledge it and then you let it go gently and get back to focusing on your breath. So you can really do this in a variety of ways. There are so many different apps for it. There's free apps and paid apps. There are a lot of meditations here on YouTube and even some good writer ones. And if I can find one, I'll link to some for you below. But they're really a good way to get your mind set in a way that you can produce your best book possible. So how does this help you as a writer? Well, I kind of already covered that. It gets kind of your mindset in place. But when you have all these chaotic thoughts going everywhere in your mind and you're unable to sit down to write because your brain is so cluttered, meditation helps unclutter it for you, helps you focus, and helps you actually be able to concentrate on the story that you're trying to tell so you can tell it in the best way possible. All right, so the second step to your mindset and creating a good writer mindset is mantras. Mantras are also called affirmations, and they are basically phrases that you tell yourself, sentences that you tell yourself that are truths that you know are true and want to believe about yourself. But a lot of times, things in the past have kind of told us little lies that became big lies that we believe about ourselves that aren't true. Things like, I'm not good enough, or I can't write, or there's all these people that are better than me at this. All of those are limiting you and holding you back. Those are called limiting beliefs. And when you allow those to take over your brain, sometimes you get writer's block. This can manifest in so many different ways, but you can get writer's block. You can just become convinced that every word that you write is terrible, and you feel like you just want to throw it all out. You can't finish. You get discouraged, so maybe you just don't write. You let it sit on your computer and don't finish your book. I want to help you get beyond that. Using mantras to help can really be a successful way to reset your mindset so that you can get past those limiting beliefs and actually finish your book and get it out into the world. Mantras or affirmations are typically said in a present tense, but as you want yourself to be in the future. So things like, I am a writer. Even if you don't feel like you're a writer, even if you haven't written a thing, you still say, I am a writer, because that helps you internalize that identity. It helps you rewrite those limiting beliefs that you're not a writer, that you're just aspiring to write. You're not aspiring to, you are a writer. If you want to be a writer, you are a writer. And once you internalize that, you start acting that way. That's why mantras are so important. To help with this, I've actually created a writer affirmations ebook that gives you a bunch of writer affirmations. Anything that speaks to you, anything that says, yes, this makes sense to me. This is something I want to claim for myself. You go through, you pick those out, and you say them frequently, ideally on a daily basis, or even more frequently. Sometimes when you're struggling, you can pull those out and you can start speaking those into existence, speaking them into your heart so that you start to believe them. There's a lot of different ones in that writer affirmations ebook. It is completely free on my website, so I'll link to that below in the description. Use those mantras to rewire your brain so that you actually can finish your book and get it done. Number 3 of the 3 M's that I like to call them is movement. You want to make forward movement toward your goals. You can meditate and you can say mantras. That's all great for your mindset. That's perfect. But if you actually want to bring all of your dreams into fruition, it's actually part of the process of manifestation. The meditation, the mantras, and then movement, forward movement. It's also called inspired action. Taking inspired action in line with the dreams that you have for your life and the truths that you want to believe about yourself, that you will believe about yourself once you've rewired your brain that way. That inspired action is what actually helps you achieve that goal. So here are a few tips to actually start taking action on your goals. Number 1, if you are a plotter, or if you don't know, just start and see what comes out. If you're a plotter, start outlining your book. Start doing some research. That really applies for either plotters or pantsers, of which I am. Start doing research. I know some writers like to put together a playlist or do some searches on Pinterest or Google, and just to get some images for your characters in your head, or settings, locations, things like that. Really start immersing yourself in that story and in that world. That will help you start to get more into that mindset of writing and get you excited for it. I personally love to create playlists for my books. They're usually ones I write to, and then I'll also create kind of this song goes to this scene, this song is like thematically what the book is about. That gives me something to listen to when I'm not working on my book, and it actually gets me excited to get back to it. And then of course you do need to actually sit down and start writing. Now, some people do this by hand, some people do it on the computer. I personally prefer it on the computer, but whatever works for you. I've seen authors do their entire first draft on paper. Bless them, that's amazing, but whatever works for you. Figure out your process, but take action, because your book is never going to get written if you are working on your mindset and you're hoping for things to change and then they don't. And it's pretty obvious how this helps you finish your book, because you're actually taking the inspired action, the forward movement to get your book done. When you take that physical action, you're actually bringing that book into existence in the process of creation, so you can present that story that you were given to tell to the world. All right, that's everything. I hope you learned a lot about mindset today. If you liked anything in this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get more indie author learning tips and information and tutorial videos and everything I have coming up. I would love it if you would leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, and I guess I'll see you later. Again, I'm Melissa Fry, author, editor, and indie author educator at indieauthorlearning.com.